Next up, we're going to make a mac and cheese or a bechamel to start, and then pasta to finish. So to cook pasta, you want to get water boiling. Any brand of pasta will do. There is a slight variance in terms of quality, but when cooking on a budget, I don't think that's very important. So today we're using penne pasta. You can use macaroni, you can use little fusilli, curly ones, whatever you like, whatever you have, more importantly. So the water is boiling here. You want to make sure that the water is very salted. And when I say very salted, I mean salty like the sea. So when if you taste it, it's like you've just taken a mouthful of seawater. So that water's just about to boil. And I think the cooking instructions say 9 to 10 minutes, but have a look at the pack. There's a little bit of variance in the in all the brands. So just make sure, pop a little timer on your phone, use the microwave, whatever, and bring that back up to a boil, and just following the instructions on the pack. All right. Okay, next up we're going to start on a bechamel sauce. Bechamel is basically it's a white sauce, and the only difference is that we're going to add some cheese to it. So to start off the bechamel, we're going to have equal parts flour and butter. So flour goes into a medium hot pan, and we just want the butter to melt before we're going to add the same amount of flour. Just plain, everyday, regular flour. And while this is melting, I'm going to just weigh out the milk that I'm going to be using. This is Jersey milk from the estate. It's been pasteurized and not homogenized, and it's really something we're particularly proud of. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is what's called, I'm going to make a roux. That's just a mixture of flour and butter, and that's going to be the thickening agent of the sauce. My pasta has been cooked and it's cooling over beside me. I've just put a little splash of oil so the pasta doesn't stick to itself, but that's fine chilling out over there while we make the sauce. Okay, so my butter's melted, and to which I'm going to add the exact same amount of flour. So you can scale this recipe up and down, depending on how many people you're cooking for. The important part is the ratio of flour to butter. As long as it's the same, then you can kind of adjust the quantities as required. So I'm just going to take a little bit more flour. And then it's going to start looking like a sandy paste. And that's what you want. And a tiny bit more. Okay. Once it's looking a little bit like this, sandy paste, then you just want to cook it out and leave it for a few minutes on a low heat, and you just want that flour to cook out. You're looking to get rid of the raw taste of flour, so it's not tasting floury. My roux is now cooked out. I've tasted it, that raw taste of flour is gone. And now I'm going to start adding the milk. So you just want to add the milk little by little and incorporate it as you go. If you make a mess, that's fine. And just slowly work all of the milk into this flour and butter mix. If you're having a bacon and cabbage, you can stop at this point, and that's your white sauce for your Sunday roast. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more. My milk is in, and it's starting to really thicken now. And that's what you want. It should be going relatively smooth. And you just want to watch out that it doesn't catch on the bottom or burn. So you just want to keep it moving, and it's just going to start thickening and start looking more like a white sauce. If you're making a lasagna as well, this is what you can, this is the basis for cheesy sauce for a lasagna. Okay. You can always adjust the consistency. So a good rule of thumb is you can always add, but you can never take away. So when you're adding milk or cheese or anything, add a little bit, have a look at it, see what happens, and then taste it if required, and then add more if necessary. So my sauce is super smooth. It's nice and hot. It's the consistency that I want it to be. Now I'm going to add a handful of cheese, and I'm going to season it up as well a little bit. Remember, cheese is quite salty, so you want to just control and be aware of how much salt you're going to add to it. So you melt your cheese into it. Let it go. Okay. Once it's nice, cheesy, you've tasted it, it's nicely seasoned. I'm just going to add a little bit of Lea and Perrins or Worcestershire sauce. This is a great little addition. It just kind of bumps up the flavor a little bit. It gives this nice kind of acidic. If you've ever had like cheese on toast and you just whack a load of Lea and Perrins on, it makes it great. It just gives a nice kind of counterbalance to the heavy, rich cream, rich cheesiness. Okay, so now the easy part. I'm just going to mix the pasta sauce and the pasta together. Yeah. Okay. So work it in. Incorporate everything. And okay, so my sauce is mixed. The mac and cheese is ready. I'm just going to pour it into a baking tray. Don't worry about lining it or greasing it or anything. This is just going to come out as like a hot mess, so that's okay. Spread it out so it's nice and nice thin layer. And then if you have a little bit of cheese left over, you can just give that a little bit of sprinkling of cheese and then some breadcrumbs on top. That goes into a hot oven at 180 degrees for about 10-15 minutes until it goes golden brown.